Hey family, this is your girl, Miss Lady Tweet, and I am happy because we are at part 5 of We Get What We Want. So I need to remind us, and I need to be absolutely clear that number one, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. What does that mean? That means the more I tell my testimonies, the more I share my stories, the more I speak out against Satan and his kingdom, the more I am victorious. Number two, my goal is to help someone. So my goal is to share my stories and to be able to elevate someone else, to be able to lift up someone else, to be able to have someone else have their aha moment. Now, I was telling the story, and this is part 5 of We Get What We Want, talking about Princess, my daughter. And I put a pin last night, or, my last video that you just watched. I put a pin in the fact that Princess said that she would have fun with egg donor. And I really want to dive into that thought process because in her mind, she wanted to go have a fun life. All teenagers reject chores, and all teenagers, they kick against structure, which is natural. So in my home with my husband, she has chores. We make sure she does her homework. We are very structured and have a lot of rules. Whereas when she goes to egg donor's house, because egg donor's trying to make up for lost time, they have fun. They might go to skating rinks. And we do this too, but it's not to say that we don't. But whenever she goes over there, it's no rules. It's just fun and shopping and things like that. And in her mind, she thinks that if she lives there, every single day will be that way. That is the immaturity of her mind. She's still a child. And that's also looking at the grass as it's greener on the other side. Even adults do this. So let's talk about adults in this moment. If a child deals with the spirit of rejection or deals with trauma or deals with anything negative that is not addressed in their childhood, this is why I'm addressing it in Princess's life, it will spill over into adulthood. And when it spills over into your adulthood, you will live a life that is on a stage. You will live a life trying to please everybody. You will live a life doing things, maybe finding love in sex, trying to find love in sex because you won't, sleeping with different partners. You will live a life trying to be accepted by every single person you come in contact with, whether they are good for you or bad for you, because the spirit of rejection has taken over your mind and you now deal with depression. That spirit of rejection is so deep and so heavy that it can cause you to be an unstable, just all over the place, unhappy adult. So this is why when I'm coaching my different clients that are dealing with childhood trauma, as a trauma coach, I encourage them to deal with stuff from their childhood first before we try to deal with adulthood. And this is why I encourage parents to deal with whatever their child, whether it's depression. This isn't to say that every child has trauma, but if there is a child that has different things that they're dealing with, let's correct it now. Let's deal with it now so that little monsters don't become big monsters. So let's dive back in. So in my last video, Princess called egg donor and was asking her why she took so long to get her, and that 10 years, because this is the timeline that egg donor gave, was a very long time to wait to get someone. And I had to really talk to Princess because we're going to deal with the root of the matter. And I said, listen, if somebody wants something bad enough, they're going to get it. I am so sorry that she lied to you. I'm so sorry that she made you feel that she was going to get you if you made up a story or incriminated us to make us look bad. I said it didn't work 5 years ago. It didn't work 4 years ago. It didn't work 3 years ago. And baby girl, I'm sorry to tell you, it's not going to work now. She didn't have to make up all these grandiose stories in order to get you. All she had to do was make a phone call to the court. All she had to do was send an email. Whatever she had to do for free, which is what we did when we got custody, is do that so that she can get custody or even fight for custody, or even, let's forget fighting for custody. If she really wanted visitation, she would have complied with the court order and had visitation. So at the end of the conversation, egg donor tells Princess, baby girl, dig into your heart and your mind and understand how much loved you are by me. And you know I'm going to fight and do everything for you. And at that point, baby girl started to cry. And I had to remind her, okay, let's end this phone call because this is not healthy for you. And as your mom, I'm going to do what's healthy for you. And I had to remind her, baby girl, if egg donor wanted you bad enough, she wouldn't have let 12, 13 years go by. She would have fought for you already. She would not have made up excuses. So I asked her, let's rewind a little bit in the conversation. I asked her in front of egg donor, I said, why did you say that you only had popsicles for dinner? She said, well, because she would worry and then she would put in a report and then she would come get me. So I said, Princess, I said, if I were away from you, remember when me and daddy had our moment and you were away from me? She said, yeah. I said, if I were away from you and I felt like for 5 years straight, because this is how long you've been putting in reports, if I felt like for 5 years straight you were in danger, I would have been did something. First of all, the first time I feel like you're in danger, you just told her, in a recent amount of time that you only had popsicles for dinner. So if I were her, I would find the next thing smoking, because she doesn't drive. So maybe the bus, maybe the train, whatever, that's her business, to get to you, knock on the door. And baby girl says, well, isn't it illegal for her to come knock on our door? I said, as a mama, I would not care if it's illegal because I want the police to come. Listen, if you want something bad enough, you'll get it. I want the police to come knock on, when I knock on the door so that it brings attention to the fact that you're in danger. So if the police come to arrest me, oh, officer, Mr. Officer, while you're here, my baby girl is in that house and she's in danger. Could you do a wellness check? Can you make sure that she's okay? Matter of fact, let's rewind. Let's talk about this wellness check thing. If as a mother, I feel that my child is in danger with the parents or people that are raising her, I'm going to send the police to do wellness checks until something changes. I'm going to send the police randomly to do wellness checks to make sure that my child that I say I love, that I'm fighting for, is not in danger anymore. So these are the mind games and manipulation that I feel bad that my baby girl had to go through with egg donor, making it seem like she cared so much. But if you cared so much, why wasn't there some urgency? Why are you just putting in erroneous reports? Why didn't you pop up at my house? You have to know my address because the court has it, and you have to get it because you have visitation. So there's no excuse. Even if, God forbid, we didn't answer the phone, you could show up, you can pop up. Right? Because if we want something bad enough, we'll get it. So let me put this in perspective. Egg donor does not want Princess. She is living her best life, enjoying her life, doing whatever she wants to do. If she wanted to spend the money to go to court, she could have did that in 10 years. If you are saving up for something, now let me also put this in perspective. Egg donor is one of those black people, God forbid somebody get mad at this, but she loves Jordans. She always buys Jordans. Jordans are not $50. They're over $100. So if you are buying Jordans, you can take a break from buying Jordans 1 month and use that money because you want your child so bad to go to court. One thing in closing in this video, I told my daughter, I said, don't be surprised now that egg donor is caught in her lie that she doesn't go to the courts to try to fight for you. Now, let's be completely honest. It's been about a month since this incident, and we have not gotten any type of court documents. If you want something bad enough, you'll go get it.